Thank you. Leslie Scully, I'm with the Weybridge Society. I'm the editor of a quarterly newsletter, and obviously we'll have some of that coming out on Sunday in our next issue. But just to say, I do have a question, but just to say that the idea is that we are going to try to do better for Weybridge holistically, rather than letting the EBC do one thing and Surrey County Council do something else, and then the NHS comes in and plows ahead with the third plan. So getting everyone together is actually taking a bit longer, as you can imagine, but the idea is not to redevelop one car park and then find that a year later we've got to dig it up. So that's why a few things look like they're in hiatus, but they're actually moving forward. My question was about community infrastructure levy, the SIL. You said that it's a donation given by developers essentially for, I guess, mitigating the impact of their developments. The biggest impact of their developments, as you know, is increased density. The biggest impact of increased density is increased traffic. And often that comes with more, not just parking problems, but also pedestrian problems. So my question was, how can we focus some of that SIL funding to make sure that it's actually mitigating the developments? In other words, I'm a big supporter that communities can come and apply for SIL, and it can be a range of projects, and that the communities themselves, it's community-led. But I'm wondering whether or not more could be done to use the SIL funding to actually mitigate the density.
Councillor Brown?
I'll try and answer that one if I may. Firstly, it's not a donation from developers. They are legally required to pay it. And the amount they have to pay is tied to how large and how large the development is and what its impact is likely to be on the local environment. You mentioned the sort of local projects, and those are very much loved by local people, local wards, because it means that small projects can be developed and can be helped. So, for example, in Stoke Davenham, which is near me, they got some money to stop the guide hall leaking and things like that. Though that's a small lump sum. I think you're more interested in the bigger ticket matters. We have a separate board called the Strategic SIL Board. That gets more money than the local boards receive, and its job is to look slightly more strategically at what we need to do in Elmbridge in order to deal with the consequences of the sort of development that you're talking about. So the kind of things that we will be asked to support is significant funding for schools, significant funding for doctors' surgeries, road improvements, pedestrian crossings on streets. We're looking at how that board works at the moment, and we're looking at trying to look a little bit more strategically at what we actually need in the various towns and villages across our borough, where the pressure points are, and whether it would be possible to use some of this money, and it does run into tens of millions of pounds to try and improve specific projects. If you have an idea for a local infrastructure related issue in your neck of the woods in Weybridge, or anyone else, Claygate, Cobham, Walton, Molesey, wherever it happens to be, then we would like to hear about it, because we want to look at all these issues and try and prioritise them.
Sorry, so